Hello and welcome to Angel Tarot Card Readings by Tim. And this is our weekly Angel Oracle card reading for Monday, February 22nd through Monday, February 29th. Now the reason I wanted to go ahead and throw the 29th Monday because we have our leap year. This happens once every 4 years. So this week, again, I'm going to be doing this for Monday through the 22nd of February through Monday the 29th. And then next week, I'm also going to include February 29th as part of that week's reading as well. But this week, we're going to be using the Fairy Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. And just to save us some time, I've already pre-shuffled the deck, have chosen the cards, and I'm going to put the cards actually here. Love this deck. This is, I like the colors in this. And if you've not worked with this deck, it has a very magical feel to it. I'm also going to be, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to be selecting an additional card from the Morgan Greer Tarot. So to get us started, I want to see what we've got coming up for the first part of our week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That'll be the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And the card is Ace of Winter. Now, the Winter is also the Ace of Swords. It says, don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately. Amazing new ideas that should be implemented. This card definitely for the first part of our week here is, you can think of the Ace of Swords, this double-edged sword that is coming up through the clouds. It's almost like piercing energy. I always think of the Ace of Swords as like a pin that pops a balloon. So any, how a balloon contains all of that air and resistance wanting to be escaped and released. That's what this Ace of Swords does. So if there's any mental confusion, this sword's going to pierce through that. And the sword, the Winter card here, this is very much about communication. It's ideas and inspiration. So don't be surprised if you don't have those aha moments this week to start you out with. But what I hear with this is that this is about really communicating clearly. So one of the things, because that sword is double-edged, this is about raw power. It's going to be a really good part to our week here, the beginning part. But the double edge can mean that it can go one way or another. So what I hear with this is to plan and plan accordingly for the week. This is also about planning in how you plan to communicate those ideas to another individual. I am hearing that you need to be very mindful of conflict and to really observe your attitude as this relates to the people that you are communicating with for this week. There could be some tug of war is what I'm feeling. So be very mindful of how that power is being implemented. Is there a fair and just plan with this? Are you trying to overtake? Is the other person trying to overtake? Whether it be in just the energy for that week or just the communication. But this is just to make sure that we're in balance when we are communicating for this week. Now, to get us into the middle part, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the card here is Unity. And it says this is about doing the right thing. And I really feel that this goes back with what I was talking about, the balance, the being mindful of conflict and observing your attitude. So do the right thing and for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. Now this, of course, could be new ideas that come from, again, this Unity card is actually the Hierophant. This is a spiritual teacher. So you may be getting some ideas from a spiritually minded individual. So this is asking us to communicate those ideas and to really hear what this other person has to tell us as it relates to the first card for us for this week. This can be a circle of friends. This can be also being around spiritually minded people. And again, this also implies with how we communicate. Just as spirituality, we want to communicate from a place of our higher self rather than from ego, which again, I think goes back to what I was feeling, which was observing your attitude and your words and being mindful of any conflict. Now, as we go into the weekend, now here we have the King of Winter. Now this is a knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, and unemotional. This is an individual here. So this is saying that you may get advice from someone professional and objective. This is public speaking, and this is also unemotional relationships. The King and the Queen of Winter, which are the King and Queen of Air, they don't operate off of emotions. And they really don't even appreciate that. And what I mean by that is, they are very analytical. They know how to think themselves out of any situation. They're very analytical. So that's the energy of this week, which is definitely getting more into the structure. And sometimes the Winter card, the Air, is very blunt, especially the Page of Air, the Page of Winter, the Page of Swords. But this is the King, and what I like about the King and the Queen is that they've learned how to manage that bluntness. But they're to the point. This is very much of a to-the-point card here. So we've gone from the Ace all the way to the King. So this is structure, this is planning, this is logic. So that's very much the energy for this week. So that's the messages that are coming through. So we'll have to see what comes up for us for this week. Now I want to go on ahead. I'm going to go ahead and cut the cards and ask angels, fairy kings, fairy queens, and all of our nature angels, what other additional messages do you have for us? What would you like for us to know? Now this is interesting. This is the Five of Coins. Now the Five of Coins is, whenever I see this, especially in a job reading, that this can mean unemployment. This may be feeling like you're the outsider. And this is hardship. So the energy for this goes, I really feel this connected with the unity. Getting advice from somebody that's more spiritual to be able to help you this week as it relates to any financial hardships or just anything in general where you may be struggling. This can also denote a physical illness too. And the Unity card, the spiritual card here, is about getting ideas. I'm hearing a holistic practitioner for some of you with this Unity card here as it relates to this. But all in all, we may, if we are experiencing any hardship at all, there's going to be somebody that we're going to be getting some spiritual advice from. One that I do feel that we can trust. And it's up to us to take that advice and to be able to move forward with this week. So those are the messages that are coming through. And I thank you so much for joining me for this week. Have a blessed one. And until next time, angel blessings. Bye now.